Like when it said, "Oh, Kurt Metzger, 30 minutes." I'm like, "Oh, great, it's 30 minutes." I don't know what that is. I could watch an hour special and just stop watching at 30 minutes if I wanted.
Yeah.
But for some reason it's like, oh, it's such a commitment, But when it said, I remember I was looking up Dave Smith, and Dave Smith has one of those gas digital. It's got 30 minutes of Dave, and I'm like, oh, good, it's only 30 minutes. I don't know why. What does that even matter? It shouldn't matter, but in my head, it matters. It's like I could just watch 20 minutes if I wanted. Why do I? Anyway, so I think I'm going to release it this weekend. I'll release clips of it up on YouTube and Instagram and Rumble, and then drop. So I've been trying to get people to buy it, right? I tried to get Netflix, tried to get nobody wants a piece of the JD. Even Marty McCarry canceled on us on Friday, right?
Marty.
So the new FDA chief was supposed to come on, and then today we get a flurry of emails like, hey, he can't ask about this. He's not going to talk about this, right? He's not going to bring up Israel. He's not going to. It was a bunch of stuff like that. And I didn't see them. I just got Malcolm texted me saying, hey, they're asking these questions. And I'll say, I'm only going to ask them stuff about the FDA. I won't ask them anything that doesn't have to do with the FDA. And then they came back with, first of all, they're going to charge us $1,100
for a certain system that we have to utilize for the interview instead of Zoom.
So instead of using Zoom or normal things, they made you go through this service to interview people from the White House, right? And so I'm like, okay, so we got the service, whatever. Oh, it turns out it costs $1,100 each time you use it.
Each time.
That's it, right, Misha?
I don't know the details. It's called Encompass, I think, but I don't know about the details.
What is the benefit of using their thing?
Sounds like they got somebody getting a kickback. I don't know what the benefit is.
I mean, it just sounds like some weird layer of control over the interview
for an hour.
You would be giving.
$1,100 for an hour.
For an hour and a test.
Was it? Oh, was it OnlyFans?
Wow.
What's it called?
I'm just making sure. What's it called again, Misha?
Encompass.
Encompass. Can you hear Misha? People in the chat, tell me, could you hear Misha?
Can you guys hear me?
Do it higher. Go higher.
Can you guys hear me?
What is it called? Like, what's it? Was it conferencing thing?
Encompass.
What, like
Encompass. So people are saying yes, they can hear you, Misha. So zip it.
Oh, okay.
Misha has her own microphone. Not her. She doesn't want to be on camera. It's because she's topless. I know.
Yeah.
People have been wondering.
Topless, you mean she's not wearing a hat?
Yes.
Yes.
That's what I think you mean. So Kurt had a lot of suspicion. No, Donald Trump has taken over the D.C. Police Department. He's going to try and make it permanent, from what I understand. And he's going to try to extend that to other cities. And I was making the point that the crime statistics are way down. Crime's way down, Kurt. Crime's way down in D.C. according to the. But then guess what? Kurt was like, I don't trust those statistics, Jimmy. Effectively cutting the legs out from underneath that segment I was doing, and I was like, well,
welcome. All of you are welcome.
But guess what? It turns out Kurt was right.
Did they change the definition of like murder? And
yes.
It's like woman. It could be with a dick.
Well, it's worse. What's weird is that murder is up, but violent crimes are down. That's what they're trying to say. What?
That sounds so much better.
So
why would those things be separated?
Here's a headline that says DC. Right? Why would that be? DC police commander suspended, accused of changing crime statistics. So that's a headline from Channel 4 in Washington D.C. And they give you this crime statistics. Murder. The murder rate in D.C. is higher than that in Bogota, Mexico City, Islamabad. Look how slow it is in Paris, London, Madrid. Washington, D.C. is the red. So They try to tell you that, yeah, murder rates are up, but violent crime is down. I thought those are the same thing.
What is? Yeah, I'm sorry. What is? I
Sure.
don't even understand how you can parse that.
If there's one thing we know, Kurt, it's that Washington, D.C. is the home of the truth. I mean, it's where honesty is made, much in the same way that Disneyland is the happiest place on earth because there's a sign that says so.
Yeah.
Yeah. So here's a channel. NBC News in D.C. did this report. Let's watch.
D.C. Police Union is putting its allegations on the record tonight, claiming police supervisors in the department are manipulating crime data to make it appear violent crime has fallen considerably when compared to last year.
When our members respond...
All right, hold on one second. Staff?
I'm going to go to a break.
Start this video again.
D.C. Police Union is putting its allegations on the record tonight, claiming police supervisors in the department are manipulating crime data to make it appear violent crime has fallen considerably when compared to last year.
When our members respond to the scene of a felony offense where there is a victim reporting that a felony occurred, inevitably there will be a lieutenant or a captain that will show up on that scene and direct those members to take a report for a lesser offense. So instead of taking a report for a shooting or a stabbing or a carjacking, they will order that officer to take a report for a theft or an injured person to the hospital or a felony assault, which is not the same type of classification.
Greg Pemberton says the police department's command staff is focusing on two categories in order to get the numbers to fall. They are armed with a dangerous weapon, an injured person to the hospital.
When management officials are directing officers to take reports for felony assault, or if they're going back into police databases and changing offenses to felony assault is not a category of crime that's listed on the department's daily crime stats. It's also not something that's a requirement of the FBI's Uniform Crime Reporting Program. So by changing criminal offenses from, for example, ADW bat or ADW gun to felony assault, that would avoid both the MPD and the FBI from reporting that as a Part 1 or a felony offense.
Pemberton says the union has been gathering evidence for some time now by looking at reports and talking with officers all over the city.
What we've heard through our members and through members of management that are willing to talk with the union is that this is a directive from the command staff, is that they want to make sure that these classifications of these reports are adjusted over time to make sure that the overall crime stats stay down.
As of last Monday, when we spoke with Pemberton, D.C. crime data shows violent crime was down 28%. Today, the department's website says violent crime is down 25% when compared to the same time last year, and overall crime is down 8%.
That's preposterous. There's absolutely no way crime could be down 28%. Last year, they suggested that it went down 34%.
As for the claims made by the
shit. If you live in a city, you know.
So there's a little bit more to this.
And as for the claims made by the union, Chief Smith released this statement. It says, the Metropolitan Police Department is committed to upholding the trust and the confidence of the public. Any irregularity in crime data brought to my attention will be addressed immediately. I do not condone any official reclassifying criminal offenses outside the guidelines set in the MPD policy. Any allegation of this behavior will be dealt with through our internal processes, which will ensure those members are held accountable. I have the utmost confidence in the command staff leadership currently in place across the Metropolitan Police Department. And one other note, we did reach out to Chief Andre Wright, and he declined to comment.
Oh, really? He declined to comment? Really? Well, here, I'll come up with a comment for him. My comment is, we're proud of our police force and their ability to de-escalate problems. For instance, if a woman says she was sexually assaulted in Washington, D.C., we can now downsize it to just some guy was hitting on her.
Yeah, it's a separate thing.
Yeah. Especially if it's one of our newly arrived immigrants. So
Yeah.
Kurt was right. So I just wanted to update that story. Because I watched Glenn Greenwald's coverage of, Trump's takeover of the DC police, and he made a good point. He goes, let's say crime is down 26%. You still got carjacked. You don't care what that,
Yeah, that's true.
you don't care.
It went up 100% for me, carjackings. That's funny.
And that a lot of DC staffers, I guess, according to Glenn Greenwald, have been, have complained about this, about the crime. And, I go to DC at least, it seems like at least once a year. And I guess I'm always in the nice parts, whatever. I'm only in the parts that you go if you're a tourist,
Well, I would say New York, I'll bet you the crime's way higher in touristy parts, more than like where like Russell lives,
Yeah.
Because he was like, was not bad by me. I'm like, nah, they're all concentrating in the touristy parts that the cops used to have on lock. When I used to be there, the cops, because you're dealing with drug addicts and drunks all weekend. It looks like Armageddon there. But now they don't have the police presence because they got they defunded.
That did not happen, Kurt. They did not defund the cops.
Whatever that stupid that
didn't
slogan sucks
happen.
twice.
That was all a lip service that the Democrats were giving about we wanted to defund the police.
Black Lives Matter.
To Black Lives Matter. And when it came to defund the police, they said, hey, you know what? Let's do the opposite. Let's invent another police force and fund it to the tune of $2 billion.
They defunded public protection from the police is what they took away. I'm sure they added more police, but the cops on the beat, they're supposed to be there. They're not there now. So that got defunded because they're not there. And here where I live in Soros Town, Austin, they did the police force left because their union, you couldn't pay them less. So all the experienced officers quit when that bullshit was going on. And now they have people for a lot cheaper. And they can't bring back the experienced ones because the rules with the union or whatever. So that was a little trick. The money didn't go in the pockets of officers and whatever. It went to whatever these, like, I don't know what the hell it goes to.
So
it's like homelessness. The money goes in and there's more homelessness.
So it looks like, again, it doesn't feel good that Donald Trump is, his answer to everything is let's lock him up. Right. And he says that we're going to evict. We're going to get rid of the homeless. We're going to kick them out. Like that. The reason why they're on the street is because they've already been kicked out. They got kicked out of their. He's like, we're going to evict them. They're on the street because they've been evicted. You can't evict someone twice.
To housing, you're gonna where would you evict people that live outside? To
right. My joke
outside?
My joke was, why don't you just pretend like they're immigrants and give them put them in hotels?
Yeah, well, I honestly don't understand that. Like, how is there all these hotels for people coming in illegally off an app? Well, I guess I don't even know if it's legal. Actually, I mean, they might have said they're asylum seekers and we're changing it so you could just come in. And I knew New York almost went bankrupt, right, from putting them up in fancy hotels for way more money than a hotel would.
Right,
hotels got paid way more to put NGO brought in mass migration. So I don't understand why they can't do that for Americans.
The fact is they can. There's like $45 billion in the big beautiful bill to build more prisons for ICE. And so what do you think they're going to do when they can't fill those beds? They're going to put Americans in there, right? And I wonder if they put, and I've made this point before, like, so if they took that $45 billion and just built housing for people, that would be a start.
Oh, it would ruin the market, wouldn't it? Because all the foreign investment, say in New York and here and all the major cities where the rent never goes down, they wanted to encourage that global investment.
Yeah.
So
how about you just
they want affordable housing? It'll bring down the market for the real estate cunts.
How about we how about we don't allow Chinese billionaires to buy property in America? How about we stop that kind of stuff? You know why we don't? You know why? It's because the real estate lobby wants that money here because they want real estate to be as expensive as possible because they make more money. So that's what's happening. There's ways to help out. One of them is, I haven't looked 100% into this, but it seems nuts that there's all these empty properties being bought by wealthy people who aren't American, and then they sit dormant and empty. And I know that's a problem. And it would be great if they got rid of the foreigners being able to buy real estate in America. They could just stop it.
Or why don't you, like you said, a rent control, which was the way to keep that up without doing what they should do, which is you build more housing. You don't have foreign nationals buying up all of your real estate. What country does that?
Well, we're going to talk about that in a sec. You're right. I wonder if what other country allows that to happen. But anyway, we're going to talk about that in a second about the rent control in New York. But turns out Kurt was right. It looks like that they've been fudging the numbers on the crime statistics in Washington, D.C., to the point where the head of the police union is accusing the police administration of fudging the numbers.
Yeah, the police chief.
Yeah.
What's her name? Pamela something? She's from Arkansas, of course.
So they asked her, now that Trump was taking over the police in D.C., a reporter asked her, what's the chain of command now? And she says, what does that mean?
Yeah.
I just saw like a meme of that. I didn't see the video of her saying that, so I can't vouch for the veracity that she actually said that. But
well, it's easy to believe after I saw the guy, Biden's Fed guy, not know why we borrow money that we
right.
print.
Yeah.
So it seems at every level there's been some imbecile that doesn't know anything about what they're supposed to do. Why is that?
So it's going to be interesting to see how this all works out, and I really want to see what he does with the homeless people, because if you just lock up the homeless people, it costs $130,000 a year in California to put somebody in prison. I bet you could find them an apartment or a hotel room for a lot less. You know, and of course, these people need drug treatment programs. These people need mental health facilities. Why not take some of that $45 billion and build mental health facilities that the United States got rid of? Starting in the 50s. What didn't start with Reagan? That's what a lot of people thought. I thought that. And then turns out, no, that started in the 50s, the deinstitutionalization of the mentally ill.
Well, he did that in L.A. in the 50s, I believe, didn't he? In California?
When
was he governor of California? He was doing that in California.
I think he was governor of California, was in the 70s, maybe?
Oh, was it?
I'm not sure. But they've been doing that nationwide. It wasn't just the Ronald Reagan thing. They were doing that nationwide, deinstitutionalizing the mentally ill. We don't have the capacity to take care of these people. But looks like Trump's going to build the prisons. And instead of taking care of them with the, drug treatment or mental health care or, just creating jobs and affordable housing, they're going to create unaffordable prisons and put people in prison.
Why don't they make the CIA pay restitution, because they're the ones that brought them drugs in that created that massive problem that we've never recovered from.
Right.
And we know they did. Everybody knows they did. There's no punishment for them. Scott Adams, I guess, will encourage us to just acknowledge that they're just going to lie to you. That's your lot in life.
So, tip of the hat to Kurt for getting this one right, and
Talk to it, guys. Invest now.
Invest now, and
if you thought I was right about this, I'm going to tell you about Hot Toe Coin.
If you'd like to hear some of my jokes about Trump's takeover of the D.C. police, you can come see me in Rutherford, New Jersey, Edmonton, Calgary, Vancouver, Appleton, Wisconsin, Chicago, Louisville, Kentucky, Fort Wayne, Indiana. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets. Over to Steph.
Okay, Jimmy, I was looking up this stat. Do you know the largest proportion of homeless people? What ethnicity?
White. Yeah,
So,
well, white people are like still 70% of the country at least, right?
Mm-hmm. So you have the homeless population in the United States. This is according to 2023, was 324,854 people experiencing homelessness. And then they said Black individuals comprised the second largest group, 243,624. Hispanic Latino individuals represented 179,336. Asian individuals had the lowest number of people experiencing homelessness among 8,261. And just keep in mind that 25% of homeless are children. What do they plan to do with those children? What do they plan to do with the working
That's
poor?
a good idea.
The
That's a
people
good
that
question.
are living in their cars
I
with
think you
their
know what they
children.
plan to do. I think we all know what they plan to do with the children. Hey, do you know the federal government doesn't keep any stats on how many children go missing? That's a state thing.
Yes, that's what. I read that
That's
too.
not suspicious. There's no reason to look further into that.
All right.
Oh, you know, 100,000 missing from when they were going over the border. Nobody knows where they went. Isn't that weird?
Yeah. How can you? Where are 300,000 children? Where
They're
are
breaking
they?
rocks on the moon. I don't know where they are.
With Trump.
Okay, here we go. Let's see. I've got this. This is from YouTube and Jizrael. And, you know, if you wanted to, let's see where that is. Google owns YouTube. And
I got it.
You are correct about the ownership of YouTube by, what are they, 49% ownership of Google. So that's from F. Here we go. Entitled, The Rise and Fall of the House of York by Andrew Loney. He says Prince Andrew had an on-off affair with Ghislaine Maxwell. I will provide a link in the next super chat. YouTube Daily Royal Mail. Thank you for that one. F, you're back. Apparently Prince Andrew had an affair with Ghislaine. Tom Barry says 1824. Jimmy's COVID lies are funny was excellent. Thank you for that one, Tom Barry. Jimmy, you put that hour video now. Comprende?
Okay.
All right, back to Jimmy.
So we've been talking about Trump's takeover of D.C. and the left's hair is on fire over it, right? And we got to see how this shakes out. We've been talking about, like, what is he going to do with homeless people? 25% of homeless people are children. Are you just going to take the homeless people and put them in prison? So we've been talking a lot about it. But guess an unlikely ally in Trump's idea to take over the police departments of Democratic cities, MSNBC. You think I'm kidding?
Yes.
Morning Joe.
Here's Morning Joe. Listen to what Morning Joe Ball says.
As long as the president focuses and the FBI focuses and the National Guard focuses on safety and security and not being an ominous force in that city, but just providing support in a partnership role to the D.C. police, that'll be a great thing. If they step over that line, obviously that's something that, you know, we can do two things at once. And if they move into a more ominous role, that is something that we need to, obviously, and everybody needs to bring up with real concerns. But I will just go back to the fact that, you know, the people that are cheering this on privately are not like right-wing Republicans, are not MAGA people. A lot of our friends are in the media, and also Democrats that worked on Joe Biden's campaign, that worked on other campaigns, that are saying, yeah, I'd like to feel safe walking around this city. If the federal...
So there is Joe Scarborough telling you that the people who are quietly cheering on Donald Trump's takeover of the D.C. police and his crackdown, authoritative crackdown, the people who are cheering that on aren't MAGA. He's saying the people who are cheering that are people in the media, people who worked for Joe Biden, Democrats who worked in the Joe Biden White House. That's what he's saying, that the people cheering this on are quietly, not publicly, the people quietly cheering this on. That's what he just said.
Why aren't they loudly cheering it on if they're so afraid? Are you that much of a...
Yeah, they don't want to. They can't be seen being on the side of Trump, Kurt.
Well, I mean, that's more than your safety. This is what some people are so lame.
Just why they all went along with the completely manufactured trans crisis in this country. There never was a trans crisis, and it was manufactured by
J.B. Pritzker's family,
by the intelligence community. And it's another way to keep people divided, and it worked like a charm.
Big pharma thing too.
It didn't cut. It did right. It's a big pharma thing, and it came from BlackRock. It came from the top of the three companies that own everything. So, and here he is telling you that the people who are cheering this on are Democrats who worked for Joe Biden, people in the media.
Maybe because Joe Scarborough is hoping Trump's police will find the real killers of his mistress that time.
Government can be a positive partner in keeping the streets safe while, again, forming a partnership with the D.C. police and not taking over. Then at least the people I've spoken with that live in D.C. day in, day out see this as...
So there he is. And here is Mr. Hardball himself, Chris Hardball. They brought him back on to talk about this. And he's going to tell you that Trump has got the Democrats in a pickle because they're out there defending crime. Watch this.
And the murder rate, you can't keep saying violent crime is down, but the murder rate's up. To the average person, the murder rate's about life and death. You don't brag about a rising murder rate. And the Democrats are, I agree with you, Mika, they're falling into the trap of defending what's indefensible.
It's a trap. Yes, it's a trap. I mean, if it's not a winner politically to say, oh, you're wrong, look at the data. Because, if one violent crime happens in a very heavily populated part of the city, people hear about it and it's visceral. They don't want it. And they'll gravitate to the person who appears to be doing something about it.
To the average, do you hear what he said? He said to the average person, murder is life and death. I think to all the persons, Chris, murder is life and death to all the persons, unless you guys have some secret technology I don't.
So they're saying that this is bad for the Democrats. They're seen as defending the indefensible, saying sure the murder rate's gone up, but rest of the crimes out. Like that doesn't cut it. Like
the
maybe
worst one.
The worst one. Yeah, the worst one's up.
That's way up, though. But everything else,
everything else. So let me play Joe Scarborough one more time for you.
As long as the president focuses and the FBI focuses and the National Guard focuses on safety and security and not being an ominous force in that city, but just providing support in a partnership role to the D.C. police, that'll be a great thing. If they step over that line, obviously that's something that, we can do two things at once. And if they move into a more ominous role, that is something that we need to obviously, and everybody needs to bring up with real concerns. But I will just go back to the fact that the people that are cheering this on privately are not like right-wing Republicans, are not MAGA people. A lot of our friends are in the media, and also Democrats that worked on Joe Biden's campaign, that worked on other campaigns, that are saying, yeah, I'd like to feel safe walking around this city. If the federal government can be a positive partner in keeping the streets safe, while, again, forming a partnership with the D.C. police and not taking over, then at least the people I've spoken with that live in D.C. day in, day out see this as a, I'm going to guess he's going to say as a positive, but that's where the clip ends. I got that from Carly.
Remember, he went and kissed Trump's hand, the ring, right away, because Trump used to talk about someone should look into Joe's mistress. Very so sad how she was killed. Very suspicious. Remember, he was throwing that out back in 2016, and they were furious at him. And all of a sudden, they're kissing his ring because now the new daddy controls that file, I guess. So the Democrats are done. I don't know why people think there's hope for them at all. There's not.
Well, the only hope for the Democrats is Trump. They don't have to do anything. They don't have to be good. Kamala Harris didn't have to have a campaign that made sense. She didn't have to appear to believe in anything, because if you don't vote for me, Trump.
Yeah.
It's the greatest get out of jail free card. It's the greatest get out of jail free card in the history of politics, and the Democrats have been playing that since 2016. Yeah, I know I'm horrible, but Trump. I know I'm demented, but Trump. I know I'm lying to you. I know I'm lying to you about being demented, but Trump. I know I'm lying to you about giving you a public option, but Trump. I'm lying to you about a minimum wage, but Trump. They've been playing that card. That's the only card they have to play, because the Democrats are horrible. And just as we had Dylan Ratigan say, the worst thing that could come of this is people thinking that the Democrats are an alternative. Then that's been
dumb enough.
And that's been the message of this show, is that you're a fool if you fall back into this. Democrats are better than Republicans, or Republicans are better than Democrats, because here we are.
You live in the two-lie system, okay? The two lies are Republicans and Democrats, and they switch back and forth every few years. Remember the Reagan Democrats? get ready in the future for the Trump Democrats. The Democrats, like Joe Scarborough, is going to be a proto-Trump Democrat, where they're like, "Hey, this is craziness. We should have some rules, and we need police." Well, they'll all be united by their love of Israel, though. I can promise you that. Don't worry about that.
Yeah,
part.
they're all joined by their love of Israel.
We have more in common than we have.
So
difference.
How wild that Joe Scarborough spills the beans, and that the people quietly cheering on Trump's takeover of the D.C. police are Democrats, powerful Democrats who work and powerful people in the media. That's pretty.
Wow.
That's pretty interesting.
I think it's a great. Well, actually, it was Chris Hardball. Chris Hardball said this, but I think it's amazing that these elites have figured out that to the average person, murder is life and death. Were you from your ivory tower above death itself? You finally realized what the hell? What was that?
I don't know, but I'm gonna be telling jokes about this in Rutherford, New Jersey, Edmonton, Calgary, Vancouver, Appleton, Wisconsin, Rosemont, Illinois, Chicago, Louisville, and Fort Wayne. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets. Over to Steph.
Okay. Hey,
Find out at Jimmy Show.
Hart says, I saw a Y-Files vid stating that on April 13th, 2029, an asteroid named Apophis.
That's an AI thing they made. That's Speedweed's outfit that makes those. I like that show, but that's just a possible scenario. I hated that one, actually.
Oh.
I'm going to text him and tell him I hated it.
All right. Hart.
So it was supposed to be a possible scenario, like they did on History Channel. Well, what if aliens landed?
Right.
And, it's supposed to be like that, or like swimming with, or living with dragons. They made a fake thing one time on the History Channel of dragon. It's something like that.
Okay. So he goes on to say, Apophis will pass closer to Earth than our communication satellites. Ground zero is projected at LA, California, and you gave me the URL. Thank you for that one, Hart.
I doubt if that's a real thing that's going to happen. And also, they have the technology to push asteroids 100%, which was in that episode. And that's not made up technology. That's the thing they actually have.
Oh.
So I wouldn't worry about that.
Okay.
I'd worry more about, like, the
butter,
the Luciferian child pedophores that run your life. More than that.
Agreed.
I wish an asteroid would hit me if we're not getting any Epstein files, honestly.
Pleasure understands 6669. This is for you, Misha. They suggested, Misha, put your feet near the mic. So I thought.
Okay, I knew that name was no good. Do not ever engage with feet people. That's like talking to a furry. Don't do it.
You're trying.
Don't do it.
There.
Like
that's
watching anime.
Misha's
not
nose.
Even once.
If you can't tell, that's her nose. That's as much as Misha wants to show herself on camera.
The name was real bad. A real bad name.
And then Misha, the Jimmy Dore Show wrote, Misha's feet are now on mic per your request. So thank you for that.
Put your feet on that mic, Misha. Don't you do it.
Laszlo says, if Steph has hot feet, I'm going to lose it. I don't.
What is this weird thing about feet everybody has?
I don't know. Jimmy had a friend that said he liked feet. And I was so self-conscious because I don't like my feet. I made sure to cover them up when he was around.
Oh, I thought you guys would have stopped talking to him because he's a low-down pervert.
We eventually did.
Ain't nothing lower than a man that's into feet.
Who was that?
Your Russian friend.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, you guys see the clip of Nick Swardson? Oh,
go ahead.
Nick Swardson talking about Marion came up to him once. He was like, I've always hated you.
Yeah.
And then Woodson was like, what? I thought we were friends for over 20 years. Like his parents told me I was always jealous or some nonsense.
Yeah. All right. Hey, Jim Jam. They tell us inflation is down and wages are up. Do you believe that? That's from Tropical Rocket. Hey,
AI
Rocket.
wages. Yeah, you can't believe these numbers. They've been lying about, even inflation. All the inflation numbers you've gotten since, I don't know, we went off the gold standard, I guess, are fake. Like, the inflation is always way higher than they're telling you. Always. They cook the books all the time.
Well, of course they do. And but what they can't cook is Fort Knox. And is there any gold there? So if there's no gold there, what does that mean? Does that mean that our money is worthless, that we don't have anything to back our money?
It means you're going on that digital reserve currency when they tell you to, because what are you going to do if not? Nothing. That's what.